This was what the District 26 was fighting for. So that property there where the ball fields are, District 26 owned that. So that was in their portfolio, that was in their books. That's their bus lot. This was a redesign. What you're looking at right now is a redesign of what they brought to the village of Cary wanting to do. So they own the land at the time, and they wanted to reconfigure the bus lot, add some administration buildings, school, some front parking, and then keep some ball fields. So if you take away this whole Maplewood thing, take away all Maplewood for apartments, that's still around 600 to 800 apartments that are still on the books. And that's just first round. That could be a substantial amount of kids for all their other projects across from the Municipality Center, Village Hall, Route 31, blowing through New Haven. It's a lot of apartments. And then they have a whole burlap bag full of other projects where they want to stack them and pack them. So you're going to have an influx of kids, families. So now what's happened is that the District 26 no longer owns the property you're looking at with the ball fields that used to have the concession stand, the bus lot, and the school. So the village bought that for $5.5 million, and they're going to relocate the bus lot to next to Aldi. So you take away the land purchase, you build your bus lot, best case scenario, you break even. So now you have no school. So now they're going to have to dip in to other funding to potentially take care of that influx of kids from all the other projects that are going on for apartments. And then that's not to mention, just the other day, you heard that I think 400, 500 people have moved out of Cary since the last census, or according to the last census. So when the economy gets better, it's a buyer's market, you're going to have families moving in. There's going to be a strain on the school district. So now instead of having a multi-use land with the ability to have schooling, some outdoor access, and bus facility, which is adjacent, and they even accommodated the road that they wanted to put in. They were leaving some room back there for that Maplewood access road. So now you're going to put a further strain onto the district. And the village pushed the district. They put them into a situation towards like, okay, do we get into litigation with these people, or do we go with it? And according to what I know, the school district did what they had to do to, in the best interest of, it's like, do we lock this up and you know, that comes back to part of the framing the question. So if this stuff is done for the people, in the best interest of the people of Cary, for their best interest, all these apartments, and you're willing to put a strain onto your local school district, That's why getting the question right is important, so you don't waste time looking somewhere where you're just going to be spinning your wheels. So we'll be breaking that down next week with that. But I can back up here. I wanted to bring you a few of the concepts, so it's not just lost in the sea of the presentation. But that's the opportunity site. You can, on the top left there is where it starts to jog towards Cary, Algonquin. That's where they want to blow through that access road. And then this was their comprehensive plan. I don't know who rendered this. That's part of the question. It's like there's a lot of time and energy and your money being spent to coordinate all of this, to do studies, to do like this, like look at this packet. This was just for the loan to be able to get a water tower off of 31 to make the reason why they brought, so it's good. I'm not going to get too much into it before I have all my ducks in a row next week, but the water tower, I think some of this timing kind of was off a little bit, but the water tower came first. They had some overlap. Water tower came first, and they said for the infrastructure of the entire system in Cary, we need to build this for life safety. Actually, they need to build this water tower because it's necessary and in the best interest of public health, safety, and welfare to improve the system. And that water tower is right next to over 400 apartments. I just don't like putting the burden onto everybody in the water system if they're already doing great. And they said, well, you know, we have a hard time moving water south to north. I don't like putting the burden onto industrial residents, not in this order, residents, industrial, commercial, just for something that should have been taken care of or rolled into the deal with a developer or the quarry that used to be there. Good negotiating should have said, okay, have your fun. When you're done, you're drilling us a well. Instead of raising everybody's water bill to get some growth that probably the majority of people don't want, specifically of what they're trying to do. So that's why framing the question is important. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that they have. So this was one concept. These are two of the same. This is an aerial view, townhomes on the left, and then stack 'em pack 'ems in the middle. And then this is part of another presenter. This is their layout, another concept. And then this is what the building would look like. And then this is a third presenter of what it would look like. This goes along with this one. This is most likely what you're going to see. According to everything that I know and have seen, this is most likely what you're going to see. This is most likely what they want. And then this goes with that. That's the concept of what I had just shown you. This is what they're building everywhere. This is what's turned into America, like Anytown, USA. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be Anytown, USA. I want to be Cary. I want to get young families and older families alike some equity, some ownership. I don't want my kids growing up coming back and spending $3,000 a month, and that's their outdoor view on their patio. And then I've done this. I've lived this. I've lived in the Springs before for a month. So in transition of moving and looking for places, I lived in the Springs behind Walmart for a month. And it was we signed a year, but we got out of it because we moved in and it was cost optimized. You won't even believe how cost optimized it was. Like, to start off, these buildings, we moved in and we were expecting our first child, and it was just we were ready to call this place like home for the time being. And the people above us, they were just living their normal life. They weren't being rude. It was they had one or two kids, nice family, and they were just living a normal life. We could hear everything that they did, and they weren't like stomping. We could just hear everything. So rice paper, pretty much. And then we also lived in the Tyvek Tower, which is in Algonquin. I call it the Tyvek Tower because it sat vacant for a long time. It had its hardship, and the builder of that building was actually had a lot of passion for that building, and he built that thing like a brick house. It's all concrete. And we couldn't hear anything. Like, it was all concrete. They don't build them like that anymore. It's expensive. That's why you drive down, you go to Sam's Club, you go in the Crystal Lake. It's all wood frame. And moving into the Springs, I was like really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to make this place home. So me being a nerd, I was like, okay, I'm gonna change the flip switches to rockers and rocker switches. So I started that project, and this place is so cost optimized that even the gauge of the wire, the gauge of the wiring in the walls coordinated with the load of where it was going. So even if you wanted to have like incandescent instead of LED, you couldn't, because it would be too much load for that wiring. And that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, where else is this place cost optimized? So I was like looking outside, and the pad for the air conditioning, you know, they have air conditioning units outside, your standard issue, a little bit smaller than whole house ones. But they had it outside, and there was gravel. Not even like framed gravel. It's like gravel just piled up, flattened a little bit. And I'm talking like that size gravel. So you can't really tamp it down. And it's just piled up, and then it just goes off to the side. There's no like encasement to prevent it from flowing away and settling. And then on top of that gravel, there was a plastic pad. And then the air conditioner unit sat on top of that. That got me thinking. I'm like me thinking. I'm like, okay. Fast forward 50, even like not even 50 years. I'm like this. Okay, this management company's not planning. This developer management company's probably not planning on staying to see that issue arise. They're planning to get out of Dodge before that. So I bring that up because I don't want, like, I think far out. And it's not just about, okay, let's get this deal. Let's go and it's about the way these things are built. Like even in townhomes now these days, it's like they go out and you think like long term, and then you look at some of the homes that used to be built and they still have good bones. Like they're these yeah, so I've lived in one of these before. The garage was longer, so you could fit 2 cars front and back, one in front of the other. But I pretty much lived in a floor plan like this. And you end up feeling like, you know, no matter how many amenities they have, you end up getting fatigued of the amenities. People abuse the amenities to where even if you wanted to, you can't enjoy them. The amenities look good on paper, but eventually that vacation feel turns into fatigue. And then you end up feeling like a number. And I just think Cary can do better. I think Cary, like, I'm all for bringing in, you know, I think Cary can do better. We're at like this crucial crossroads, fork in the road, to where we can either carbon copy Anytown USA, or we can plant our flag in the ground and be the Commonwealth of Cary. And take care of our school districts. So there's your opportunity site. Fire up the bulldozers. if you have comments, if you're in support of this or if you're against it, I want to hear from you. Please email us at voicescary@proton.me. This is just the flavor of the week. I mean, there's other stuff that we're going to get into next week. But I've found the question, and next week's going to be fun. So email us at voicescary@proton.me. That's voicescary@proton.me. And then we broadcast live every weekday at X, Rumble, and YouTube. And then we post to Facebook. And if you don't like seeing my face for radio, you're not alone. You can go to, we have an RSS feed to where it gets broadcast to every single podcast platform. So you can find it wherever you get your podcasts, as they say. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow with some more current events. And thank you for joining me today. It's really a pleasure to put this together for you and bring this to you. Independent journalism now is more important than ever. And we have the tools as of right now. We have the tools and the freedoms to be able to do independent journalism. And that's what I'm doing here. There's no agenda. I'm just trying to looking out for you, looking out for my family. And, let's call this place home. Thank you for joining me today, and have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're confirmed at T-minus 10 seconds.
And counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Reach for the sky.
Huh?
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
What?
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
It's busted.
Who you calling busted, Buster? That's right. I'm talking to you, Sid Phillips. We don't like being blown up, Sid. Or smashed, or ripped apart.
We?
That's right. Your toys.
So play nice.